If you tow any kind of trailer or RV, it is super important that you know your numbers. I'm talking about making sure your tow vehicle is up to the task and that you haven't overloaded your trailer too. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a cat scale at a truck stop to make sure everything's in line. And if you're wondering why you're watching this on a channel called Digital Barbell, well, it's because my wife and I own an online fitness coaching company. And since it's online, we like to spend as much time as we can traveling in our Airstream. We shot this video about a week into a 3-week long trip to Colorado. And we did that on purpose because we wanted to make sure with this thing loaded down with e-bikes in the back of the truck, tools, all that kind of stuff, the 2 dogs, the 2 of us, where are our numbers really at? Because we do like taking long trips and could even potentially see living in it long term. So that's the reason that we did it on this trip. There's also been a lot of talk on the internet lately about weight distribution hitches and even the potential for what's called front end separation on these Airstreams. So another thing that I wanted to test was, well, how much weight am I really distributing from my trailer to my truck? Is it worth the potential stress that I'm putting on the front of the trailer? And does it matter how I set up my weight distribution hitch as to how much weight I'm really distributing? So we're going to check that out too. Another important part of safe towing is having the appropriate amount of tongue weight to keep you from swaying. So I'm going to show you how to check that too. We're going to cover a lot of terminology and numbers in this, so make sure you stick around to the end because I'll do a recap at the end. And also want to remind you, I'm a professional coach, not a professional driver, RV owner, or anything else. So take it all with a grain of salt, but I hope this helps you out. First thing you're going to want to do is download the Weigh My Truck app from CatScale. Type in the scale that you're at, and then you'll be ready to weigh. When you pull onto the scale, you're going to want to make sure your front wheels of your truck are on a separate scale than the rear wheels of your truck, and that all the axles of your trailer are on the big scale towards the back of the setup. For this first time weighing, I left my trailer hooked up with the weight distribution set on link number 9.
Ready? Accept. Start weighing request. So you're good right here?
Yeah.
Everybody be still. Look light. Alright, we've got total gross is 15,980. Trailer they think is 61, drive is 5,000, steer is 47.
All right, after taking a screenshot of that, we're moving on to weighing the whole setup in the exact same place, but with no weight distribution bars connected. We're hooked up, no weight distribution.
Reweigh $4.
All right, here are the numbers with no weight distribution. Let's compare to the first weight that I got. First of all, I have no idea where the 20 pounds disappeared to on the gross, but let's ignore that. You can see that there's an extra 300 pounds on the rear axle of the truck with no weight distribution. But what I find really interesting is that there's 200 pounds less weight on the front axle without the weight distribution. That does not sound like a good scenario for being able to steer while you're towing. All right, we got that one. Now we're going to drop the trailer by itself and weigh it independent of the truck. When you go to do this, make sure the tongue jack of your truck is on the same scale as the axle and tires of your trailer. All right, now we pull the truck forward again. This is going to tell us what the truck weighs independent of the trailer. This is an important measurement to get because you want to make sure your truck and your camper aren't over their payload on their own. All right, so the GVWR of this trailer, which means the weight of the trailer and everything you put in it, the maximum is 7,600 pounds. And then the maximum GVWR on our 2016 F250 diesel is 10,000 pounds. Again, that's the weight of the truck and everything that you put inside combined. All right, so let's tackle the trailer first. You can see on the left that the trailer by itself weighed in at 7,140 pounds. And with our GVWR of 7,600 pounds, we are in the clear. Let's go tell Blakely. How much did we weigh?
7140.
7,600.
I give up. I'm relieved.
Okay, last thing I want to do is reconnect on link number 8 of the weight distribution and see how that changes. Basically, I'm trying to determine like how much tension do we really want to put on the front of our trailer? How much is it worth the trade-off and how much weight we're moving to the front wheels? Or are we even really doing that? So let's do that one. It should go without saying, but don't try to do all this when you're in a hurry. We spent about 30 minutes here on the cat scale doing all this. All right, this is trailer connected on chain link number 8 of the Blue Ox. All right, here's what we got with link number 8, but let's compare it to link number 9. We're still missing our 20 pounds from the gross, but let's ignore that. Really, the only change was we moved 20 pounds from the drive axle up to the steer axle by choking up on the chain. So I don't know if it's worth it, to be honest with you. All right, we're going to have to crunch some numbers when we're not driving, but I think we have everything we need now to calculate how much payload we have in the truck between us, the dogs, all the toys in the bed, and the tongue weight. We know that the trailer itself is not overweight.
Right.
And I guess the last thing to check is the total of everything good to go?
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of that total, it's called your GCWR, your gross combined weight rating. It's the sum of everything you're towing and the weight of your truck. You have to look this up in your manual or online because it depends on a lot of different factors of your particular truck. Our particular truck has a GCWR of 32,100 pounds, so with a gross weight of only 16,000 pounds, we are good to go. While we're talking about total numbers here, let's see where we're at on the truck's GVWR by itself. Remember, it's 10,000 pounds on our truck. We're going to do this measurement from when the truck and trailer were connected, adding together the steer and the drive axle. You might see it comes in at 9,900 pounds, which might make you nervous knowing that the GVWR of the truck is only 10,000 pounds. But if you look at the independent axle ratings by themselves, they're well over 10,000 pounds. I've been told that vehicle manufacturers do this to avoid different commercial regulations. There's something magic about that 10,000 pound mark. Okay, let's talk about how to calculate your tongue weight. A lot of people forget that your tongue weight goes against your available payload on your truck, and the tongue weight listed on your trailer online is probably a lot lower than it is in reality. This is the case with our Airstream too. All you need to do is take the difference between the weight of the truck when you're hitched and when you're not hitched, and that's the tongue weight. Our Airstream is listed at 850 pounds of tongue weight by the book, but here we are at 1,040 pounds. Most people will tell you that you want to keep your tongue weight between 10 and 15% of the loaded weight of your trailer. We're just under 15% on ours, and we haven't experienced any sway, so I feel pretty good about that. If you do get sway with your trailer, it's probably a sign that your tongue weight is too light, and you can affect that by moving more things in your trailer up towards the front, and that'll put more weight on the tongue. If you do start to experience sway, it's really important that you don't try to use the brakes of your truck to try to straighten things out. Instead, reach forward, grab your brake controller, and manually engage the brakes on the trailer, and that should take care of any sway that you're having. All right, let's just do a quick summary of everything that we talked about in this video. Feel free to leave me a comment if I missed something or if you have anything to add. The main things we want to accomplish with all this is making sure that our truck is not overweight, making sure that our trailer is not overweight, and then making sure the combination of everything together doesn't exceed what your truck is capable of. You're going to want to look at your GVWR of your truck in the door jamb on the driver's side of your truck. Make sure that the loaded weight of your truck with everything in it plus the weight of your trailer on your truck does not exceed your GVWR. You're going to want to weigh your trailer independently with it completely loaded to make sure that it doesn't exceed its own GVWR. And then you're going to want to add both of those numbers together to make sure that your GCVWR, which is the combined weight of your loaded truck and your loaded trailer, doesn't exceed the maximum for your truck. Don't feel pressured when you go to one of these cat scales. They're usually not very busy. If there's somebody behind you, let them have a turn so you don't feel pressured, but you can figure this out. We were nervous about it the first time that we did it. but we got through it. And as far as the weight distribution setup on my truck, I don't really think it's worth going to link number 9 and putting the extra stress on my trailer just to get that extra 20 pounds of weight transfer up to the front wheels. I am going to continue to use the weight distribution hitch though, because I get a pretty significant amount of rear sag on my truck when I'm not using the weight distribution hitch. I'm talking a little over 2 to maybe 2.5 inches, depending on what I have in the bed of the truck. So for me, it's worth it to continue using the weight distribution. I'm just not going to overstress my trailer. Like I said, if I missed something, please leave me a comment below. And if you do have one of these Blue Ox weight distribution hitches, check out the video that's up on the screen now. They can be kind of dangerous. In this video, I talk about what I think is the safest way to use one. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe before you leave and leave this video a thumbs up. Take care.